Okay, we're live now. Um, hmm, we have a few participants joining already. Let's start in about, let's give, a couple more minutes for more people to join and then we can begin the session. All right, let's wait 2 more minutes and we can start. Okay, we have participants increasing. All right. Okay. So let's start. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Aisha Amjad, and I'm the Chief Product Officer at DocSpire. I'm also an AI researcher with publications in journals on agentic and autonomous multi agent systems. For the past 6 years, I've been working on document processing and intelligence use cases with customers from various industries, different verticals, including finance, retail, logistics, and manufacturing. And I'm very excited to host this webinar. Now, I was just reading a couple of days ago that MBA forecast about a 2.2 trillion mortgage origination in 2026, which is around 7.7% increase from today. And we are already 16% ahead of the same time last year. That means there is an opportunity, right? And that is exactly the kind of opportunity, its implications, and in the world of AI driven technologies, how do you capitalize on this kind of opportunity? So that is going to be the discussion of our topic today. Let me give you a quick rundown of the entire agenda. So Ibrahim and I will be discussing the implications of cyclical nature of the mortgage industry and the opportunity of low interest rates and high refinance surges that it presents. The artificial intelligence plus the traditional tech guardrails that actually helps makes the most of these opportunities. What do we see in that? And then I'll show a quick live demonstration of the platform that actually helps automate the document heavy processing and will be able to help you keep up with this cyclical nature of mortgage. We'll reserve around 10 to 15 minutes at the end for the questions. So please use the chat throughout. We're going to be continuously monitoring it. Now, before we dive in, I would love to know where everyone is joining us from today. So drop your locations in the chat. Let me go to the chat and yeah, please feel free to drop your locations in the chat so I would know where you're joining us from. It's always like pretty cool to know. Oh, so someone is joining us from London. That's cool. I think in one of our last webinars, we had people from Prague and some other European regions as well. Okay, so we have people from Canada and oh, okay, cool. All right, that's great. Fantastic. Now, with me, I have another speaker here, Ibrahim Surani. He is the CEO at Estera. Estera is a leading no-code data management and AI company. It has been operating in data integration space for about 15 years. It is also the parent company of DocSpire, and Ibrahim is also my mentor. So Ibrahim is a seasoned founder with over 20 years of experience in building and scaling enterprise software. He's also worked for about 15 years in mortgage and finance industry, and he's worked with big names like Countrywide, Wells Fargo, M-Trust, to name a few. So Ibrahim, welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Aisha. Congratulations on the successful launch of Doxfire. You are off to a fantastic start, and it's great to see happy customers already in such a short time.
Yes. Again, you've played a huge role in that. Now, before we also dive into the content of this webinar, there's one more thing. We are giving away a $100 Amazon gift card today. So all you need to do is just scan the QR code on the screen and take a quick survey. This survey is mainly related to the mortgage industry, and it will basically help me and Ibrahim to help us tailor this webinar accordingly. We'll also announce the winner at the very end, so make sure you stick around. All right. Okay, that's cool. Now, we are done with that. All right. So let's talk about. Let's get into the main topic, right? And before we get into the main topic, there's one more question that I want to ask from the audience, and that is, how does your firm handle this fluctuation, especially the increase in the mortgage application? And while you guys answer that, I'm going to put this question on Ibrahim. That Ibrahim, let's talk about the opportunity that low interest rates and favorable refinancing environment presents. What are you seeing in the market right now, and how you've seen it over the years?
So direction of interest rates is very hard to predict, obviously, for anyone. But it seems likely that interest rates will go down over the next few quarters, and that presents a tremendous opportunity. And in the US, most homeowners are sitting on mortgages around 3% and are really reluctant to either refi or go buy another house because the cost will increase quite substantially. But should the interest rates go lower a bit more, you will see a flood of refinancing and purchases, and it's already beginning to show signs of that. When that happens, having worked with mortgage lenders, top mortgage lenders in the country, what we have seen is there is tremendous stress on all the systems within the company, from loan officers to underwriters to operations people, and mortgage being a document heavy process, in in the United States, when you are getting a mortgage loan, you are dealing with so many rules, regulations, and documentations that you have to collect from the borrowers, to make to finish that loan and to close that loan. So what in the process, that is the process that soaks up so many of resources. And when the loan applications surge, you have to add a lot of people to operation side of things and other side of your mortgage operation to be able to cope with that surging volume, and that is an expensive and difficult process, especially given the cyclical nature of this business, where when the volumes go down, then you have to do something about all that excess capacity that you've built. So this AI to me presents a unique opportunity. And the opportunity is to be able to scale mortgage loan originations, operations, underwriting, and other areas without adding more staff to your team. This is such a once in a generational opportunity.
I agree. And you've always said that the challenges are usually very, very consistent across the board in this industry, right? Irrespective of the regions, and even sometimes irrespective of the continents. Because some of the most common things that I've heard of is mostly about, hey, there is a lot of backlog of the documents to review because of the manual nature and manual processing that still is big in this industry. The tracking of the, of course, the applicant, whether they have submitted incomplete documentation, wrong documentation, of course, the ordeal of identifying any attempted fraud. So these are all some of the things that we have heard from different mortgage brokers and lenders over the years. And also another important point of the teams being burned out because of this, fluctuation, continuous fluctuation, and a very high surge.
That is true. So that is why this cycle, this AI cycle, that we are at the beginning of, presents a tremendous opportunity to uh, to revamp that entire area. I mean, I look at this, AI is that we are at the beginning of that cycle. This is not just a cycle; it's a revolutionary cycle. Uh, Mortgage tech industry is a document heavy, data heavy industry, and those industries are specifically suited for disruption via AI. Um, Compliance, underwriting, document processing are all areas that will can and should be automated using AI. Now, granted, there is a lot of AI. Sometimes the hype kind of overshoots the reality, but like it happened with internet, it happened with mobile. That doesn't mean those technologies were not real. And AI is far more disruptive than those technologies. So I believe that the origination process can and will be automated almost 100% using AI over time. And that includes customer service, include compliance, document processing, fraud detection, and so on. So this is a once in a generation opportunity for the mortgage lenders. And you will see that those who adapt to this and automate and prepare for that AI revolution will come out ahead of their much bigger and better funded competitors.
So essentially you're saying that the people who are, or the companies who are tech forward, or who are investing in AI, or are trying to be AI driven at this stage, would actually get the most out of these kind of cycles and
Oh,
in the near
absolutely.
future.
We're saying that as you know, Astera is a much broader um, uh, product of
Yeah.
producer of software than just document processing. So we work on agentic software, on chat agents, voice agents. You can see that everywhere the opportunities are boundless, and the companies that are looking, are trying to become AI first companies are going to come out on the other end of it as highly successful companies. And those that are reluctant to spend or invest at this point will see them falling behind more and more as this thing progresses. So we see this happening in a very short order. In the next 2 years, you will separate winners from losers in this industry based purely on how much investment they made in the automation, in the intelligent systems to build and to work with customers and to build customer support systems and customer service systems using AI.
Now I completely agree with you on that point, but I would also like to bring one additional thing here, that but with AI, you also need to set the expectations right. The current state of the art AI needs traditional solid functionality, and what you have always spoken about, especially the data integration. I mean, that is our core functionality at the end of the day, right? So you've always spoken about how AI at this current state of the art is can only make the most out of it when there is a solid platform of data and validations surrounding it, and guardrails specifically.
So the reason there is a hype, and people say, hey, there is a lot of hype, but the reality is not matching the hype. Part of that is that the models are there, the LLMs are there, they are intelligent, they can provide a lot of capabilities, but the infrastructure that you need to build enterprise grade systems uh, is still catching up with it. There are a lot of companies, every company wants to invest in AI. Many of them don't really know how. to go about it, what to invest in. And so the answer is, hey, let's hire a few AI experts, give them the funding so that they can build AI apps. Generally, you know, results in disappointment, because those AI systems that they build look good in prototypes, they look good in demos, but when you start putting them in production, they either don't scale, or you find so many other flaws in it that a production system results in exposes. So that is what we focused on. We have been focused on for the last year or so on building out that infrastructure, where if you are processing documents, then maybe a prototype system is fine for processing 1,000 documents, or 5,000 documents, or 100,000 documents. We built infrastructure so that if you are dealing with hundreds of thousands of documents or millions of documents, it scales. So not just that, but there's lots of other things that come into play. If you are building in AI driven mortgage organization, you're dealing with customer support, you're dealing with underwriting, you need agentic development systems. We focused our energies on those things. And so yes, document processing is probably the most important part for the origination process and saves a lot of time if automated. But as we can see, that this area is ripe for disruption in a way that I have not seen in my career.
There's one another thing, right? Whenever even previously, almost a year ago, when we started discussing about how this AI wave will change, one of the things that we definitely discussed was that applications are probably going to be very personalized, very customized, in fact, and they're going to suit. Like it would feel like, hey, it's designed for me, or it's designed for my industry, rather than so far in the past that we've seen that applications are mostly very generic, that they can of course do your work, but then you need to fit in their molds. But one of the things that you and I have been discussing, and we're discussing on a wider circle with other people as well, is the customizations and the personalization that this AI wave will bring for many industries.
Right. You are doing that automatically. You're doing that already in your DocSpire, right? You have agents that are primarily just configuration agents that you can work with to build a system that a customer needs. Not take a system and then provide some configuration screens here and there so that the customer can use those systems. This AI is changing the way SaaS works, or the predefined systems work. So take DocSpire. What you have done with DocSpire is an example of how these systems will operate, where there is a configuration agent where you, using a chat-driven interface, maybe spend a couple of hours and build out the configuration that meets a specific customer's workflow and their culture and their needs. Because every company has some, a culture, a secret sauce that drives their business. And to expect those companies to fit into some predefined mold, is quite disruptive. With AI, with the design approaches that we are taking with AI, that is a change that you will see happening not just with our systems, but with the industry as a whole. So yes, customized specific systems, or systems that can be customized by using another AI, is the way of the future, and we already are working, doing that with our customers.
I think personalization and customization is definitely one thing, but also being able to integrate into the existing ecosystem of that company, right? As you're saying, that every company has their own secret sauce. And so a tool that is not replacing your existing tool set, but actually being able to integrate seamlessly into your existing CRM systems, for example, in mortgage case, your loan origination systems, your POS systems. So being able to integrate that and automate with DocSpire, if we talk about it, automate the document heavy processes in this scenario specifically.
Right. Our roots are in the integration. We started out as a data integration platform, and we still are a data integration platform. So for any system to succeed in an organization, it has to be a good citizen, which means it has to be a good communicator with other systems around it. So if you are dropping a DocSpire or any other product in an ecosystem within a company, then that product has to be able to integrate with other systems relatively quickly and smoothly,
True.
because that's what determines how successful the implementation or the deployment is going to be. If you take months to integrate with the environment around you, then that is something that might not necessarily be a viable option for the customer. And so therefore this whole concept that we have designed, where even the integration is created as part of the deployment process using AI. And that's that we are the best users of AI ourselves. So we're not just evangelizing to our customers that they should be using AI. We are using AI in all our own processes and our own agentic systems, and that's where the world is, and that's what we are offering to our customers.
Yes, I mean our own data solutions team is also using the agents that we have created. And on your integration point, when we, again, the way DocSpire works, we basically start by connecting to the existing sources that anyone in the company is using. Could be emails, borrower portals, cloud storages, CRMs, API systems, FTP connections. And the platform, just like how we have been in the document space so far, supports multiple formats, be it PDFs, images, EDI formats, of course, Word documents, Excel files, and more. And then comes the intelligent processing layer. And I think this is a layer where we have used AI quite extensively, and it's not, in fact, even new, right? We've been using AI in this particular specific layer to detect document types and read text using the adaptive OCR for quite some time, for almost a few years now. And being able to read from various different languages. So I think at this point we are very easily, comfortably able to read from about 40 plus languages. And the key here is, another advantage to this process is the templateless extraction. The system basically extracts document data without rigid templates and converts it into structured formats. You get the confidence score in the end, and so you would basically know what you're looking at. Now this the component of even templateless extraction, the AI part here, this has helped a lot of our companies that we have worked with, a lot of our customers, to basically reduce even the effort that was there in implementing a system. Previously, whenever we would get a customer, it would always be like, hey, we already have thousands of flows running with another in another software. Now we need to convert those thousands of flows into your system, your software. So there was always that wall, some kind of hindrance in converting to a software system. But I guess that's one of the hindrances that we have definitely worked on with our software. Then of course, validation is extremely important in mortgage document processing. The platform applies business rules, be it cross-referencing critical data values like, for example, the incomes, or checking completeness of the documents, verifying accounts, reviewing incomes and asset evaluations is also very important. And you can also customize these rules, like you said, right? We are using AI to basically do customizations. You can basically just write your rules in natural language, that, hey, this is the business rule, this is a set of business rules that my company follows or that my firm follows, and you just provide that, and then the system is able to create rules, able to code those rules programmatically into the system. And the AI agent is doing that too pretty well. So that's how this whole system goes. And then, of course, once the clean data or validated data simply flows directly into your existing system. So we're taking the data from your system, we're also integrating, we're basically sitting in between that layer very seamlessly. And this entire process can be very easily automated. So you're automating all this stuff while keeping a high accuracy. There's, of course, less data entry and fewer errors, and you're able to track every single thing, every step that is happening during this document heavy processing, because that is another extremely important thing, or extremely important point that has been pointed out to us by several mortgage broker firms, lender firms, banks. So that's one of the things. And with that, let's get into the demo. Let me share my screen. Okay, all right. Okay. So as soon as you launch the platform, this is the DocSpire platform. There are a few, you'll see a few components here on the left side, and it is a very simple, easy to follow flow. So you have document queue here. The document queue is basically a place where you're able to, where all of your documents that have been uploaded into the system or that have flown into the system via through your LOS or POS systems or your emails or any basically your data source, you can see all of those documents here. You can search them by their name, by their ID, by any, if you know even a small thing about, for example, let's say you know that your applicant is John Smith, and so you want to know all the documents from John Smith. So you can simply type that here in the search documents, and it will start showing you those kind of documents, right? Similarly, you can filter out the documents based on the priority, their types, and as well as their status. So in this, as soon as a document comes in, the instantly what happens is it classifies that document into its type. So whether it's a credit report, an ID document, a pay slip, or a bank statement, so it instantly classifies that document and gives it a type and labels it. And there are a few other details that you can see here, like the accuracy of a process document, its validation score is also up here. And then there are a few actions that you can take. So let's say, for example, if I want to reprocess any existing document, or if I want to view the results of a successful document. So for example, this document was ran successfully, so I can easily view the results from this. And of course, all of this is also has strict user control, user access control. That means only those who have the access for it, only they can view this. So let's actually quickly go and reprocess one of these documents. Let's reprocess. This was in review, so let's start by reprocessing. So as soon as I click on the reprocess, you're basically redirected to this window. This is a document tracking window. So in the document tracking window, you are able to track the process, the entire step, like every single step that your document takes. Now, while this is happening, there's one more thing, right? Right now, you're seeing that I am mostly doing it via click, like it still looks manual, but there is an entire section for automation. Now, when you want to put something on automation, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to connect to your integrations. So whether they are input integrations or their output integrations, you're going to basically connect to that. So for example, in this case, we have email integration. So you can simply configure your email integration. You have other types of integration as well. So it could be an API upload. Maybe you're using a cloud storage as your input documents, or database, or a CRM system. Similarly, you could be using them as your output integrations as well. So you can very easily connect to all of this. The second important thing are the workflows. So one of the things is that there are already template workflows or built-in or turnkey solutions present here for mortgage application review. You can connect to that very easily. If of course, in most cases and majority, because the process is quite standard in mortgage industry, so it would fit in most cases. However, there's also an option to configure it. So when Ibrahim was talking about that, hey, you can actually configure it just by writing a few lines or configuring it easily via user natural language. This is basically where you would essentially be able to do that. The next is the validation rules. Again, validation rules are extremely important. So one of the things that you would be doing is there's a list of existing rules book in here. So for example, there's income cross checks. So it would basically be able to would be checking all the documents that usually have an income listed. It could be a text. It of course is a paste stubs, but that income is also listed on your tax document. It's listed on your the credit that you get, or the credit amount that you get in your bank statement on monthly basis on a specific, of course, dates. It also verifies it against, let's say, your employee contract, what was written there. So it does that. So all the documents that falls under the category where an income could be listed, it would basically be able to check that. But you can also edit these rules, or you can create your own rule as well. And based on the rule, you can also decide that, whether if this rule fails, would you like to instantly reject it, flag it for review, or send alerts, or basically just continue processing. That means it's just a simple warning. There is no need to raise alarms for that. right? So mostly when you're doing more automation, these are the three things that you would be dealing with. And once you have automated this will basically continue running. That means what you would be looking at are the document tracking part, frequently or regularly, as well as the analytics. Now before we jump into the analytics, there's one more thing, which is process notifications. So again, you can have the notifications or alerts sent on pretty much any state. So for example, let's say you can add as many recipients to send the notifications to. You can decide whether you want to set an immediate notification, an hourly digest, daily digest, a weekly digest, and you can also suggest what kind of notifications you want to send. And again, this is also editable, this is also configurable. That means you can actually add your own events to this list very easily as well, right? So I've set it up for my let's go back to document tracking. It has done processing and there are a few validation errors. Okay, so errors and incorrect totals. All right. So I should be getting an email for that. All right, so I have gotten an email, and let's quickly take a look at this. So again, this is in a CSV format, but you can basically have your email or the email body be sent in different kind of formats. It could be an HTML. So we've done that for a customer who wanted the format, the entire email body to contain the information. So we were sending it as an HTML format. It could be a PDF format as well. So whatever reporting that suits you. So there, it contains a few fields, the document type that failed, the bank that the statement belonged to, and some information about. So this is a document note that is being sent. So this was the closing balance. It also checked for a gambling transaction, but there was no gambling transaction found. Name validation passed, all right, and address validation passed as well. And we checked, so there are a few other validations. So you're basically able to see all of those validations that are passed. And so this was the, okay, so it's a very minor discrepancy, but this was the reason why the total check. So you can also decide the range, basically, right? You can decide, hey, what range, if there's a discrepancy under this range, then fails it, otherwise it goes on to passing. So going back to the tool, the final thing that you would, or basically most of the people would be interested in, is the document tracking, the document search, which was there in the document queue, and finally the analytics part. So when you're doing the analytics, again, these are some of the simple analytics that one would want to see, but at the same time, there's also another one which is related to each application that has been processed so far, the document that has been tracked, if it was, the documents were approved and they are moved to the next stage or not. And very importantly, you can also chat with these. So we're also adding more features and functionalities to it. We have an analytics component, and we're integrating the chatting capability of that analytics component into this tool as well. That means you would be easily able to ask questions in natural language, and it would give you AI insights or insights from your data. So that is pretty much it for the demonstration of the product. Let's go back and let's discuss a few remaining pointers that we have from our sessions. Okay, so let me start by, let's go back. Okay, all right. So yes, I'm going to pick it up now in real environment, of course, or in the actual setup. The final step would be to push the validated and structured information into an LOS systems like Encompass or Byte or any other internal CRM that you're using, and all fields would map automatically. As Ibrahim mentioned, right, we are like, our core strength lies in the data integration, and that's where we essentially are. Now this brings me to a realization that we have worked on document processing and intelligent use cases for our customers that belong to various different verticals, industries, but a software that facilitates mortgage data processing to this extent, it was actually your idea, Brian, right? When we were working on a use case, it was essentially your idea that, hey, let's build something, and this was from a more your experience of working in mortgage industry for 15 years, and then our experience of working with one customer. Ibrahim, you're muted.
Yes, sorry about that. This is a pain point that we have seen all through I've seen all throughout my time in the mortgage industry is document processing has always been a major expense in terms of the technology side of it and in terms of the people side of it. And up until a couple of years ago, or maybe even a year ago, it was not really possible to totally automate this area. There were models that were good at OCR, but not good enough. There were other data extraction models that we created ourselves, or the AI models that we used. They were good, but not perfect, or at least not close to perfect. What we now have is that we have created these multi-model solutions that are almost 99 plus percent accurate, and they when they are not, we find out that they are not accurate, so it gets flagged through our validation processes and all. So now you can get to a point where you can automate this entire process end to end, and put checkpoints, intelligent checkpoints using AI, or using human created rules in between to make sure that your documents you're processing are actually being processed correctly.
Yeah, that's true, exactly right. And that is what we did with TMP. I mean, they came to us with a data extraction use case, but ended up walking away with quite an extensive document heavy processing, which also includes us tracking our software tracking the documents, the incomplete documents, gambling transactions, fraudulent transactions, sending alerts back to applicants that, hey, you sent incomplete documentation, and keeping a continuous track of it, and also updating TMP team that, hey, we have not received documents from this, or we have
Right.
received the documents from this applicant. Yeah.
Not only that, but even other customers that we are talking to or working with, same. They are work it's exactly the same environment, same issues that they are dealing with, and same problems that they're confronting, and we're solving that, in all cases. In some cases there is the large volume of documents, so how do
Mm.
you sift through those documents? In the other cases, how do you attribute a document to a specific account, or how do you check the type of the documents? How do you make sure you do cross validations between across documents? If I'm saying on my loan application my income is X, then all my income documents should substantiate that. If I'm saying I have assets in the amount of X or Y, then my documents, bank statements and other assets, proof of assets should should be able to reconcile that. So all of those things are now happening automatically, and happening more and more, so that the human element of this is reduced to dealing with a very small number of exceptions or errors that happen when the documents are not properly scanned or something like that.
Yeah, and these are the mostly operational wins, right? And then there's a human side to it as well, which you were initially talking about, and which we were discussing about, the staff burnout and not being able to give good experience to the borrowers, and also the speed element of it. Like
Right.
the faster you are in this, the better it is for both the lender
Right.
as well as the borrower.
Exactly. So staff, the human element of this is, when the volumes go up, you need to staff up, you need to hire lots of people, you need to train those people, you need to house those people. And when the volumes go down, you have excess capacity that you have to somehow eliminate. And those are not necessarily pleasant processes. And with AI now, you have an opportunity to not have to do that, where you can scale by scaling your products, your systems. And that's what we are saying that you should be doing. The expense of scaling is also very high. Now, if you are a smaller or mid-sized mortgage lender, and the volume surge happens, you can still stay, from staffing perspective, a small or mid-sized mortgage lender, but process far more volume, through these automations and AI solutions and document processing and other agentic solutions that you can build. That is, I think, where the world is going. That is, and it's not a question of, whether that will happen or not. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. Maybe in a year, maybe so, maybe a year and a half, but not much farther than that. So companies that are ready for it, they will benefit. There's those that are not, they will fall behind. And we've seen that in the past transitions like that, and this is another transition that is taking place.
That's true. I completely agree. And I feel like the market also knows this, right? But the problem is that they are not sure who to speak to. They're uncertain about, what to do. They know that this is going to happen. They know that the AI wave is as true as it can get. But what exactly to do? And I guess this is one of the reasons why, we have also initiated this discussion more openly about what they can do in this with their industry, with their document processing. And one of the offers that we are putting in place before we jump into the Q&A is that we have a limited time offer for first 5 companies that sign up today. And the offer is about, offering free strategy consultations, and we'll basically assess their current process, identify bottlenecks, and map out this automation, this AI automation roadmap in a personalized one-to-one session. We're already doing that with some companies who have, of course, come to us, and they wanted to understand. They again, as I said, they know AI, they have the investment, they just don't know exactly where to put it, where to start, what tools to use. They have massive IT teams, but how to make those IT teams into AI teams, that is one of the things that they are looking for. And that is exactly what we are going to do in these in the scheduled sessions, in this one-on-one sessions. We'll also share more details. We'll share all the details about it in the email as well. So you can also scan the QR code right here on the screen to get more details. All right, so let me check for the questions. All right, there were a few. Okay. So I guess okay, the chat is wait, there is a Q&A tab as well. Okay, so I guess some of the questions that we usually get in this market is, of course, number one, the compliance question, right? And and this happened last year as well, that OpenAI enterprise APIs, they made sure that they were compliant under GDPR, under SOC2, and under different compliance policies. And when we spoke to different customers, they were initially reluctant in using OpenAI. But when we told them that, hey, OpenAI has this wide on their website that they are compliant, their enterprise APIs are compliant. Of course, ChatGPT is not compliant, but their enterprise APIs are compliant. I think that they were more they were more positive towards then adopting this technology. Do you think this is also going to be a pattern for the rest of the companies that are working on AI agents?
Absolutely. I think this is a question that comes up because the regulations around privacy of in mortgage or healthcare industries that we work on are quite strict, and everyone has to have those assurances before they can put their data into these systems or share their data with these systems. So yes, that is a question that will keep coming up, and we have already provided solutions to it, and we the subscription that we use with these model vendors ensures us that they will not use our data for training, or they will not store our data for training.
Okay. And another question is about, I guess, when we talk about on a larger scale, investment in AI is quite it's a big investment, right? There are a lot of huge companies, and huge investment is being made here. So what should one expect when they're investing in an AI tool, especially like this?
Well, in this case, they should expect instant results. They should expect results to show up within a month of their starting point. In general, though a lot of companies are spending a lot of money on AI, those systems look good in prototyping, but they don't work in production. This we already have proven that this solution works in production for our customers, and so in our case, they should be able to be up and running inside of a month, if not faster.
I agree completely. There are a few more questions. One is, can this handle scanned documents? Yes, I can answer. I can take that question. Of course, it can handle scanned documents, images, PDF documents, EDI formats as well. So we have worked with different customers who have EDI formats, so it can easily read those as well. In fact, one of our offerings is on EDI as well, right? When we talk about Astera, it has a wide offering, and DocSpire and Astera is a parent company of DocSpire. So the formats that Astera support, DocSpire automatically supports. So yes, we can read scanned documents. And the other question is
EDI, of course, all the credit reports, they come in EDI formats. So we have integrated with those bureaus to be able to ingest and process credit reports.
Yep. There is another question. What is the pricing structure? The pricing structure is there on the website as well. You can check it out. That is a simple question. What document types can DocSpire process for mortgage? Practically any document type, like any document type that you need: ID documents, pay slips, credit reports. As Ibrahim mentioned, that in US it's in an EDI format, whereas if you go to other regions like UK, your credit reports, you usually receive them in a PDF format. So we can read any type of. I think one of the technologies that we worked on, templateless data extraction, it is able to read practically from any document and any data in any format. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much. Wait, let me just see if there's one more question. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Those were some good questions. The compliance specifically, I think we knew that question was something that would come up. But yeah, just one last thing. Now we're done with that. We also, just a reminder, we need to announce the winner. Let me check who the winner is. Okay. I see quite a lot of people here. Okay, so the winner is Elaine Mandy. Congratulations, Elaine, and you'll receive this tomorrow. And thank you so much for joining us today. We hope this session gave you insights into how you can deal with the upcoming increase in the mortgage application surge, and the opportunity that these lower interest rates are presenting in the market for the next couple of years. And we hope to see you in the consultation calls, because we want to closely work with you on making sure that DocSpire is able to cater to your solution and is able to mold to your needs exactly as you want. And yeah, with that, let's end the session today. Hope you have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim.